everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Well, wasn't yesterday's project just absolutely gorgeous? I think this box, it is just so pretty, so feminine, just perfect for gift giving. And I think today's project is going to be just as special as this one. And keeping in theme with making holders for greeting cards and note cards, that is what I'm doing today as well. Well, today's project is going to be this really cute note card holder in the shape of a purse. So it measures 6 across, 5 high, and on it I have the same accordion fold side, and I also included feet on this one, and I used flat back pearls for that because I didn't want to put any extreme hardware on this. I wanted it really to just resemble like a clutch. And this one measures 6 wide, 5 high, and 2 inches deep. So when we open it up, you can see that I have a different type of clasp on it. So I really have the traditional fold over, lock in place purse clasp. So when we open it up, on the inside you can see that we've got the same look as the box from yesterday. So let's get started on making this. In order to make this box, we are going to need 3 pieces of chipboard, and I'm going to keep calling it a box because that's what's in my head, but it's actually just a little mini card purse. And we will have 3 pieces of chipboard that measure, we'll have 2 that measure 6 by 5 and 1 that measures 2 by 6, and this is actually the bottom. And we'll need to start with a piece of decorative cardstock that measures 8 by 12. And the first thing that I'm going to do, just because it'll make placement of my chipboard pieces a little bit easier on this project, since I need to be a little more exact than I normally am when I'm crafting, is I want to make sure that I score this on the 12-inch side at 5 and at 7. And this is so that I can place my base down and give myself exactly 5 inches on both sides of my score line. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little fold on this. And then I'll put the 2 by 6 inch piece down with some glue. I'm going to turn it towards me so that I can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to flip this over and just give that glue a little bit of work in. And then I'll take one of my 6 by 5 pieces, put some glue on it, and then I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to give myself a little more than 1/8 of an inch because I don't want my paper to crack. And you'll have some that hangs over the top here, and that's okay because we're going to put a topper piece on. So now let's flip it and do the other side. Give myself just a little more than 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to turn this over and just work my glue in. Okay, now I'll come back and just train my paper to fold over. And I'll glue this down. towel so that I can wipe up some of this glue. And I'll glue the other side. Now that I've got the glue down, I'm just going to come back and get these joints just nice and tight and crisp, the way that we would if we were just making a normal paper purse. Okay, so we have this, and at this point we need to go ahead and place the purse lock. So what I'm going to do is find the side of my purse that actually has the writing going in the right direction. Then I'm going to find my center as best I can, press down so that I can get an impression from those prongs where I'll know I can then come back and just punch in with my finger X-Acto. And then I'll take this and just push it through. I think I need to go through just a little bit more. So there we have it like that. And then we have prongs on the back. And I am just going to knock those over and close them up. Let me get this one started. I'm going to use my needle nose just to bend it so that I can then close it. And there we've got our lock is on. So now we can place our liner piece. And before I place the liner piece, I want to come in with some tape and put tape down on the joints here. And I'm going to remove my tape. And then I'll take my glue and I'm going to place some glue all along the edge. And this paper measures 4.5. I'm sorry, the paper measures 5 3/4 by 12. And I will make sure that I have the measurements for this listed in the description box. So please check the description box because that will answer your most of your questions on where to get the items that I'm using in this project. And then I'm just going to place this down. I don't have to be exact at the top and the bottom because I am going to be placing a topper on this, so it can be a little bit off. Wouldn't want it to be a lot off, but being exact on placement of the liner isn't as critical. Okay, then I'm just going to smooth this down. And now I'll come back with my bone folder and really work my glue down to these joints. And I'm going to turn it around and work it inward this way. clean this up. Go along my edges just to make sure I've got them nice and smooth. And now I'm just going to hold it up and check, and basically what I'm checking for is to make sure that there's no bubbling of the paper in the corners or in the middle. I want everything to lay flat, and it's looking pretty good. So now we have got the base of our purse done. The next thing that we'll need to do is we need to do our sides. So we are going to start with a piece that measures 4 by 4.5, and we are going to score every 1/2 inch, just like we did on the other one. And then I'm going to just do my accordion fold on this. I've already done one so that you guys wouldn't have to watch me do 2 of these. All right, let's bring our body back in, and we are going to take it and place it just as we did yesterday. So we're going to be using glue to place it. And I'm just running glue along this one. And when I place it down, I want to make sure that the flat part is facing in. So what I'll be doing now is just placing it as close to the fold line as I can get it, and also as close to the edge as I can get it. So I'll come in and just smooth that down. And let's do the other side. And we're going to bring it very close to the fold line and very close to the edge of the chipboard so that it looks like that. And then we'll smooth it down. And I can come in and slide this one outward just a little bit. And I can also take my bone folder and just make sure that glue is stuck. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this up. Put a little more glue than that. And then I'll glue this side. And then we can bring it up. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that on this end I've got it close to the edge as well, just like that. And now what I can do is take my bone folder and come in and just flatten it out, which should help it stick on the other side. And I can do the same thing on this side. So here's a little tip. When I'm making an accordion fold purse or box, whatever the width is of your bottom, double it for the accordion part, and that makes it a lot easier to be able to work with. So my base of this purse is 2 inches, and the width of my accordion piece is 4 inches. And that gives me a nice accordion look, but also makes it very easy when you're putting something together because it's not too tight to work with. So there, we've got this part done. And that looks pretty good to me. I think it looks great. So now what I want to do is I have 2 pieces of paper that I'm going to be using as the topper. And this paper measures 2 by 6. And I folded it to give it 1 inch on both sides. But what I want to do on the part that's going to be on the inside, I want to just come in and angle cut just a little bit, because if I don't, it's going to hit the inside accordion piece. So I'm just taking off a little bit so that I don't have to worry about that happening. So I'm only angle cutting the inside. All right, so now let's glue this up. Put it down. And then I'll come across the top just to square that off. Take my bone folder and go on the inside as well, just to make sure that that paper is stuck. And I think that that is a very pretty way to finish that off. And then what I'm going to do is my back side here. I'm going to place my glue. And put this down. Let me come in with my bone folder and get this stuck. And then we'll go on the back side, get it stuck there, and then we'll square off the top. So far, so good. And then what I think I want to do with this is I want to finish it off just a little bit more on the front. So I'm going to take this strip and just come in and put this here, just to add a bit of contrast. And I think that does finish it off nicely. What do you guys think? And then I'll come to the back side and do the same thing. Take some glue. Place this down. Snip this excess off. And then come back with my bone folder and just get that nice and stuck. So I do think that that adds just a little something, kind of breaks it up just a little bit. So now we can look at the inside. And what I've done for the inside is I have the same types of dividers that I had from yesterday, but they're just a little bit larger. So these measure, I have 2 of them, and they measure 6 by 4 1/2. And I'm just going to slide those in, and that way I can move my cards around as needed. And now the last thing that we need to do is we need to make the fold over for this. So what I have is this piece, which will go on here. So all I'm going to do is take a scrap piece of my paper and fold it in thirds. Making sure that it's wide enough to accommodate that. And then I'm going to glue this down. I'm not going to be real heavy with the glue because I don't want it to be too soggy. And then I'll glue this down. And then I'm just going to come back in and trace this hole so that I can come back and cut it out. Just trying to make sure I have it fairly even on the sides. And I'm just tracing with my paper trimmer pointy thing here. So what I did was I went back, and where I had traced out my oval, I used my X-Acto knife to go in and cut it out. And then on a smaller piece of the same decorative paper, just a single layer, I went back and cut out another one of the ovals, because I'll use that to hide the brad prongs once I get this put together. So now we've got this, so I'm going to take this prong and put it through. And now I can come in with my hammer and close this off. Sorry about that noise. And then I can take this piece and cover up the brads. And again, you don't have to have this hardware. You can actually use Velcro or just a standard magnet if you want. I just like to experiment with different things, but you certainly don't have to do that. Okay, let's get this stuck on here. I'm going to come back and wipe up some of this glue so that it isn't so sloppy looking. All right, and then what I want to do is I want to come in with my scissors, and I'm just going to taper this off a little bit just to give it a better look. And I didn't get that quite as straight. Okay, and I don't want the point, so then I'm going to come back in and just square that point off. And one other thing that you could do with this if you wanted, I'm not going to do it, but you certainly could, is you could go back and use ink to distress the edges, just to kind of knock down some of that brightness. Okay, so the way that I place mine when I'm using this is, now that I've got this piece down, I can take this piece, place it on top, close it, and then I can fold it over and see how I want it to look. I know that I don't want it as long as I have it in the back, so I am going to cut off right above the ABC. And now I can take this and add my hot glue. And I'm only going to put hot glue right on the end because I want this flap to be able to fold backwards. And then I'll just hold that down, come back to the front and make sure it's straight. And then if you wanted, you could embellish this even more. I am going to leave this pretty plain right now. And let me open this up. And then we can place our cards on the inside. So I haven't made any cards for this. I just have blank pieces of paper, craft paper, that I'm using. and I'm just going to tuck those in. So this will be another build your own card kit, and I'll be filling it with little items that the person who'll be receiving it can use to make whatever type of cards they want to make. I'm not going to just go ahead and make the cards and predetermine how they can use it. So let's close it. And then the very last thing that I want to do is I want to add just some little feet using my flat back pearls. And how do you get 1,000 flat back pearls up off of the floor after you've knocked them over? I don't know, but I am about to find out, because that is exactly what I just did. And they scattered everywhere. So I'm sure I'll be finding pearls forever. Okay, so let's let these set up. Hopefully you guys have liked this project. Please hit the like button if you have. And if you are not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you join. Making some great things, having a lot of fun. So there, we've got two really gorgeous little card boxes. They look like purses, but they are designed to hold standard A2 size cards, and the A2 cards are 5.5 by 4.25. So this will hold standard size cards. Make a great gift. You can change out the papers and use them for any occasion. I think these are perfect if you're thinking about something for Mother's Day, bridal showers, whatever. Perfect. This would be perfect for the new bride with her new monogram on it. Just a great way of looking at ways to give gifts. Hope you guys give these a try. Have fun making them. We will craft later. Bye.